stories fade with time, buried beneath silence, lost in forgotten files, or dismissed as mysteries that will never be solved. But behind every case is a voice that was never heard, a truth still waiting in the dark. This channel is dedicated to the victims, the unanswered questions, and the stories that refuse to disappear. Because somewhere, someone still knows what happened. Welcome to Cries Unheard in the Darkness. Richford, Vermont, is the kind of place where silence is a way of life. But on the morning of March 20th, 2004, that silence was broken by the sight of an Oldsmobile sedan shoved into the side of a derelict farmhouse. It was positioned strangely, backed into the building so hard the rear end breached the siding. When a state trooper arrived, he found a car that was empty, yet strangely occupied by the echoes of a life. 2 paychecks sat on the front seat. Outside in the dirt lay a water bottle, loose change, and a single unsmoked cigarette. The trooper, assuming a drunk driver had simply hit the house and hitched a ride home, called a tow truck. He didn't know he was clearing a crime scene. He didn't know that for 17-year-old Brianna Maitland, time had already run out. Brianna was a girl in transition. At 17, she had moved out of her parents' farm, not out of malice, but out of a fierce desire for self-reliance. She was working 2 jobs and finishing her GED, living with her friend Jillian Stout in Sheldon. But this new life came with a dark undercurrent. 3 weeks before she vanished, Brianna was at a party when she was brutally attacked by a former friend, Keely Lacrosse. Despite having martial arts training, Brianna sat in a truck and took the blows, refusing to fight back. She walked away with a broken nose and a concussion. On the day she disappeared, March 19th, Brianna was celebrating. She passed her GED. She had lunch with her mother, Kelly, appearing happy and full of plans for college. But then, during a shopping trip, something changed. Something outside caught Brianna's eye. She walked out to the parking lot and returned unnerved, shaken, and agitated. She wouldn't explain why. She just said she had to get to her shift at the Black Lantern Inn. It was the last time her mother would ever see her. Brianna clocked out at 11:20 p.m. She told her coworkers she was going home to sleep before her next shift. She was alone. Because of her independent lifestyle, no one realized she was missing for days. Her roommate thought she was with her parents. Her parents thought she was at work. It wasn't until March 23rd that the alarm was finally raised. When the Oldsmobile was finally processed at a local garage, the runaway theory died. Inside the car were her glasses, her contact lens case, her migraine medication, and her ATM card, items she needed to survive. Items no one leaves behind by choice. Witnesses began to piece together a terrifying timeline at the Dutchburn house. 11:30 p.m., 12:30 a.m. A man sees the car with its headlights on. Midnight, a second driver sees a turn signal flashing. A couple reported seeing a tall, stocky man standing in the glare of the car's headlights. Shortly after, a silver or gray Honda Civic is seen speeding toward the scene, then braking abruptly. The FBI would later suggest the scene was staged to look like an accident. Brianna's parents believed it took multiple people to take her, given her martial arts training. The investigation eventually veered into the local drug scene. An anonymous tip led police to raid a house occupied by 2 New York drug dealers, Ramon Ryans and Nathaniel Jacken. While they found cocaine and marijuana, they found no trace of Brianna. Then came the most gruesome lead in the case's history. An older female provided a signed affidavit claiming Ryans had murdered Brianna over a drug debt. The details were harrowing. She claimed Brianna was held for a week, then murdered. Her body was allegedly stored in a basement, dismembered with a table saw, and disposed of on a pig farm. Police could never corroborate this horror story. Other tips were just as haunting, that she was tied to a tree in the woods or weighted down at the bottom of a lake. Even the shadow of serial killer Israel Keys loomed over the case until the FBI ruled him out in 2012. Years passed. In 2016, on the 12th anniversary, police revealed they had recovered DNA from Brianna's car. Months later, the old Dutchburn house burned to the ground. taking whatever physical secrets it still held with it. But in March 2022, a major breakthrough was announced: a DNA match. The sample belonged to one of the 11 people originally investigated. While this individual has been cooperative, no arrests have been made. Brianna Maitland would be in her late 30s today. Her case is a tapestry of what-ifs and almosts. As the FBI offers a $40,000 reward, the message is clear. This is not a cold case. It's an unsolved one. The truth is out there, perhaps held by someone who was on Route 118 that night, watching the headlights of an Oldsmobile fade into the Vermont woods. If you have any information regarding the case of Brianna Maitland, please contact the Vermont State Police. Thanks for listening to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. If this story stayed with you, you're not alone. Subscribe, because the darkness always has more to say. Until next time, listen carefully.